All right, we've woken up in a new location. About 55-degree difference in weather this morning. Love being back in Florida with my family. Getting to enjoy the much, much, much better weather. Even though it's a little chilly here in Florida still. It is winter. So obviously you take the good with the bad. If this is the worst of it for winter, coming from where I've been and what I'm used to, this is pretty easy. So anytime I come home, I like to make sure I get outside and enjoy the weather as much as I can. Like I talked about in previous videos, I'm a daily walker for the most part, exercise, trying to stay healthy all the time. So this is one of the things I always make sure I come out and do when I'm in Florida, because back home or back where I'm from in the upper Midwest, it's not like this right now. It's cold, too cold to be outside as far as I'm concerned. It's not an enjoyable walk, so I'm not going to bother doing it. Anyway, what's one of the reasons we love Florida too, obviously the weather's great, but when you look at it in perspective, it's something I remember from when we first got our kids, is that you only have so many summers to enjoy them when they're young. So many days, so many vacation seasons to enjoy with your kids. And as you get older, like I am now, closer to retirement, it's kind of the same idea, I think, is that you only have so many summers left. And as morbid as that might be, it's definitely something that needs to be considered, because how many more vacation seasons do you have, and are you going to make the most of them? And I think that's one of the things I love about Florida, is that it's summer all year down here, any of the warmer climate states, right? Which is why you would want to retire there. To me, if it's summer every day, then my summer never runs out. So I want to be able to enjoy the time, enjoy the weather. And I'll be honest, I'd rather travel for snow if I want to see snow than have to travel for sunshine to see sunshine. One of the reasons we've spent almost every vacation we've ever had in Florida is to escape the cold of the upper Midwest and enjoy the summer weather down here. Even if it's not perfect every day, it's nearly perfect every day. The average sunshine in this area, days of sunshine, is like 285, 290. And where I'm from, up in the upper Midwest, it's less than 200 average days of sun. And I can tell you, we just, having landed and being in the sun again today, so much happier, so much more enjoyable spirit that you get from having the sun in your face. I'm going to stop so I can focus this camera a little better. But it's a lot easier to enjoy your time and enjoy your day when it's an enjoyable day outside. When you're cold and miserable all the time, and the weather is gray, and you don't get a lot of sun, that's why northerners go through the depression seasons. And it starts in the middle of October, and it runs until the end of April into May, before the sun starts to come out and it starts to get regularly nice every day, and you end up with only about 100 days of decent weather, and then everything takes a crap again. And so I would much rather be in a place where my environment is better controlled. Overall is a better environment to be in, because you can't always change the other parts of your life, but location is such an impact on your spirit, your well-being, your overall happiness and joy. So that's one of the reasons we picked Florida. It could have been Arizona, it could have been California, it could have been Texas, but I can tell you it was definitely going to be a place that had more sun than not. And I just don't see the point of staying someplace that's miserable or feels miserable all the time anyway, at least for a lot of the year. So that's one of the great things about going to a state like this. But it goes along with the idea of how many more summers do I have? How many more seasons, vacation seasons, do I have to spend with my family to do things that I want to do? And you really start to get perspective of those when you get in closer to the 60s, and I'm sure as you get older. Because I've heard other people refer to this as, the first 5 or 10 years of retirement is like your younger years of retirement, your teenage years, and then every 5 years or so you go up an age group, almost like it's a different generation. So you got, you're a newborn between 60 and 65, and then you're a teenager between 65 and 70, and then you immediately get into middle age and old age for the 20-year perspective you have for retirement time. And I don't want to spend that time in regret and in misery, that's for sure. And of course, no tomorrows are ever guaranteed, but you have to at least set yourself up to be in a position where you can enjoy more tomorrows and be in a place that gives you more enjoyment. So, and I want to be able to do those things and get up every day and have a very good likelihood of having some sun in my face, even if the temperature is a little cool. I mean, it's 60 here, 55, 60 right now, which is not warm for Florida by any stretch, but it was, when I left last night, it was 10 degrees. So, and today it's going to get up to 65. Tomorrow's supposed to be in the mid-70s. That's a pretty good day. If that's the worst of my winter, I'm all right with that. I can live with that. But the rest of the time that I'm here, and any other time that I'm here, and when I retire and here full time, my day is going to be spent trying to find enjoyment and not worry about the weather and what can I do and what can't I do. There's definitely some rainy seasons that come along, but I want to make the most of every other summer I have from this point on, and not necessarily have to travel to do so. And even in the upper Midwest where I'm from, there's not a lot to do outside, even in the summertime. There's just not a lot of activities in the local area. There's only so many parks to walk through and so many fairs to go through, and it seems like, at least in this area where we're at, there's a lot going on. Now, there's a lot of tourists, and of course we'd be considered one of them right now anyway, as we still transition to be locals, but it's still, there's a lot more activity involved, and I think that's because the climate's better year round, there's more things to do. So there's activities and fairs and shows and programs and sales, and I'm trying to think of the right words, where communities get together and have little festivals and etc. There's more of those going on all year round, and whether you do those kinds of things or not, it still gives you opportunity of things to do to get outside of the house and not sit home, because during the cold season up north, if it's too cold to go anywhere, or if the snows are plowed in, if the roads are snowed in, you haven't plowed, you haven't cleaned out your driveway, plus you got to get the car warmed up, you have to dress for it, you have to go, and you're going to have to go from inside to inside because it's so cold. There's just not a lot to do during the winter. So that's one of the reasons that we wanted to be in a warmer climate for the rest of our duration. The other side of that too is that with more activity gives you a more active life, and activity is the key to staying healthy and to staying fit and to give you some better chances of longevity. And that includes being able to get out and get daily sunshine, get outside and do some walks every day, get out and go and exercise in other ways. If you like to do those, you can play golf down here nearly year round, pickleball if you're into that, tennis, etc. There's all kinds of outdoor activities, and those are the kinds of things that make for a healthier retirement in general, and being in a community or an area that is conducive with good weather. So you can't hardly beat that part of it. So think about that when you're starting to set up your stage for retirement. That's the reason that Florida and Arizona and some of these other states have been snowbird capital, right? People come down here during the winter when they retire, at least to get out of the cold from where they're from. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. And honestly, if that was an option for us, it would have been considered for sure. The downside of that, for us anyway, option-wise, is that my wife and I are not the same age. She is a teacher and I'll be able to retire before her. And her teaching job, her season of work, is during the cold season. So if we were living up north and she was a teacher up north, she can't take the winter off to come south. That's one of the reasons it's just not an option. I think it's a good idea for those that can do it. If you don't want to necessarily move or live here, I mean, it's expensive to be in Florida for sure. I'm not any better or worse than California or Texas or Arizona, any place where the climate's good. But it's definitely an option if you are in the means to do so. For us, it was just a better situation and transition to just come at one time and just be done with it. So anyway, that's kind of all I got for today. Just enjoying the weather. Wanted to give you my thoughts for the day, at least that it's nice to be in outside again and enjoying my time here with family. We're catching up. We got a kind of a 3-day weekend, and then I'll be headed back to the grind. So that's part of the daily life we have. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.